Hey, how's it going, my friends? Much love. It's Daniel. Welcome back. Welcome to Tobit, part number 2, my friends. We're going to continue through the book of Tobit. In part number 1, we covered chapters 1 through 4. If you haven't got a chance to see that, I encourage you to go check that out. You might not wrap your head around this part 2 as well. But in this part 2, we're going to be talking about an angel that we see here in this book. Okay, we see angels throughout the scriptures. But just to let you know, okay, today is the 29th day of the 5th month. We're about to go into the 6th month. That is in biblical true time. Okay, well, in the 6th month, for example, to give you an example about an angel, okay, in the very 6th month that we're fixing to go into is when we see in Luke chapter number 1, when we see the angel Gabriel come to Zacharias in the temple, and we see because Zacharias doubted that angel in fact cut off his speech, so he wasn't able to talk until his son was born. That is John the Baptist. Okay, in the 6th month it states that angel comes to Mary, okay, tells her about the Messiah. Okay, so we see angels throughout the scriptures, my friends. One of the things you're going to want to keep in mind as we go through this is Hebrews 13 number 2. Okay, verse number 2. Paul said that we're supposed to be mindful of dealing with people, unless we we might be entertaining angels. We might be dealing with an angel and not know it. Okay, and the only way you have an understanding of this is if you have a basic understanding of how angels work, my friends, how these things work. Okay, some of you, this might not be hard to understand, okay, but you're gonna have to come to grips with the understanding that angels can come in the form of a man. Okay, just like Apostle Paul is talking to us, mentioning to us in Hebrews 13:2. Okay, this is the context in which he is talking about. We're going to go through this. This is going to give us our context as to Hebrews 13:2. Okay, so I hope that you can come to grips with some of these things. There's lots of things, my friends, in the scriptures. Either you believe or you don't. Okay, you either believe or you don't. Okay, there's lots of things you don't really have particular scientific answers for, like the plagues of Egypt. Okay, how do you explain how Moses just turns his staff into a serpent, my friends? Okay, do you believe it? Because I believe it. How do you explain how God commanded Hosea to marry a whore for a wife? Okay, what about in John chapter 9, verse number 6, when Christ spits on the ground, okay, and takes the clay, the mud therewith, and he uses it to heal a blind man? Okay, my friends, it would have been just as easy for Christ to say, receive thy sight in this moment, and the man would have received the sight in his moment. Okay, but God through his angels has a way of dealing with things, okay, that might not be in your man's understanding. So as we go through chapter 5 through 9 here in part number 2, we're going to be talking about an angel we see in this story. We're going to be talking about how these angels were dealing with things. But we see angels all over the Bible, my friends. You see the archangel Michael, you see, okay, in the book of Jude. You see him in Daniel 12. You see him in Revelation 12. You see the angel Gabriel in Luke number 1. Okay, you also see him in Daniel 8 and 9. Okay, so we see angels through the scriptures. Of course, we see the angels when they come to Lot to take him out of Sodom and Gomorrah. So we're going to talk about angels as we go through this book, which shows us an angel. Okay, but just to let you know, okay, if you didn't see Tobit part 1, basically what we got is we're going back to about 720, 750 BC, right in there. Okay, this was a time when the 10 tribes had been captured. Okay, after the divided kingdom, we know it was the 10 tribes first that were dispersed into other nations, starting with Assyria being one of them. Tobit's from the tribe of Naphtali. He was a young man. Him and his wife were exiled with their son to Nineveh in Assyria. He gets to Nineveh. Once he's in Nineveh, he has favor of the king that's ruling, okay? But then it comes to pass that that king dies and his son takes his place, okay? And this son was a wicked man, the new king. And basically what happens is we see he's killing Israelites left and right. Tobit's burying them, and the king catches wind of it, and then he seeks for Tobit's life. So Tobit has to flee. They raid his house, and it says that not 55 days pass, and this man, this king, is killed by his two sons. Okay, then his son takes his place, and then this calms things down for Tobit. This king is not such a wicked man. You can see that Tobit has a nephew who is working right next to this king, and so he's got ties. And so basically Pentecost rolls around. They're having a Pentecost feast. Before they start eating, he sends his son Tobias out into the city, tells him to go find any Israelites that might be mindful of the Lord, so that they can bring him on in to feast with them. And as he's out, he finds a dead man. Tobit brings in the dead man, and then he remembers the prophecy of Amos, who was Isaiah's dad. In Amos chapter 8, verse 10, it talks about how the feasts would be turned into mourning, my friends, and that's exactly what we see here in Tobit as he cries during Pentecost and ate his meat in heaviness, it says. So the sun goes down, he goes and buries this man, goes into a depressed state. He's laying down by the wall of the city of Nineveh, and it says that sparrows muted dung down into his eyes. So these birds crap in his eyes, it blinds him, completely blinds him with the whiteness, just to, you see the Apostle Paul in the book of Acts. So he's blinded, puts him in this deep, dark, depressing place because he can't provide for his family. People have to minister unto him. His wife had to take up work. So he's just down, my friends. He just wants to die. He had left 10 talents of silver in another city that he wanted to signify to his son. So as we came to the end of chapter 4, we see him telling his son these beautiful words before he sends him on this journey to receive these 10 talents of silver. And, he's going to send him to get this silver, but he's really depressed, my friends. He just wants to go into that everlasting place, it says. Okay, and in the city in which he's going to send his son, in the very moment, there's Sarah, which is the daughter of Raguel. Okay, they're captives from Naphtali, not in Nineveh, but they're in Rages of Media. Okay, it's not too far, but again, a journey to get there. So Sarah and Tobit are both praying. They've both had enough. They just want to die. And so they cry out to God, okay? And it says that God heard their prayer, and he sends the angel, my friends. So that's what we're going to get into here in this video as we proceed through chapters 5 through 9 in part number 2 of the book of Tobit. May this be a blessing to somebody in the name of Jesus Christ. All right, my friends, to tell you about this just a little bit. Okay, it was about 2 years ago I noticed, okay, there was books in the Bible that were not in the Bible. And I started going through things like the Maccabees, okay, realizing that there had been books that are available to us that are not in the canon. Okay, and then further research, I discovered that if you had a King James version, okay, a 1611 King James version anywhere from 1600s through 1700s, then the Apocrypha was in it, okay?
So I received a great blessing when I received this here Bible as a gift. And it's a 1611, okay? It's got the Apocrypha in it. But what I find to be specifically amazing is with the Apocrypha, okay, as you see, you come to the end of the Old Testament here, you come to the Apocrypha, okay? And what's amazing about this is it's referenced, okay? For example, as you're reading through here, you'll see, okay, for example, you see there where it says feast, you see there's an A right there. Okay, you see there's an A. Okay, well, when it's talking about the feast here, you see it gives you an A. We come to your references and it shows you in the scriptures, for example, 2 Kings 23:21, okay, where it's talking about Feast of the Passover as well. Okay, so it's a reference Bible. Okay, I find this to be a great blessing. Okay, when I received this, I was very happy, my friends, because it takes you through the Apocrypha, referencing it with the canon. Okay, so I just wanted to share this with you. And this is how I have the book of Tobit and all of these other books. Okay, so we went through chapter 4. We got to the end of chapter 4 here. And we'll go ahead and read the last verse of chapter 4 here for context. Okay, but Tobit's talking to his son before he sends him on a journey, telling him some beautiful words. And he says here, "Fear not, my son, that we are made poor, for that you have much wealth. If you fear God and keep and depart from sin and do that which is pleasing in his sight." Okay, of course we see this all over the scriptures. Fear God, okay, keep his commandments. And then here we got chapter number 5. Tobias then answered and said, "Father, I will do all the things which you have commanded me." Okay, so he agrees. He says, "Father, I will do these things." But then he says, remember, he's sending him to reap 10 talents of silver. So he tells him, "How can I receive the money, seeing I know him not?" He's talking about Gabael. And then he gave him a handwriting, okay, a sealed handwriting. And he said unto him, "Seek thee a man which may go with you while I yet live, and I will give him wages, and go and receive the money." So Tobit tells Tobias, his son, to find him a man that could go on this journey. Keeping in mind, Tobias is probably just a young teenager at this point, probably anywhere from 15 to 18. He obviously hasn't done much traveling, and so we see his dad telling him here, find him a man, okay, with experience, who can go with you, and I'm going to pay him to bring you on back safely, kind of thing. Okay, so therefore he went up to seek a man, and he found Raphael, that was an angel. Okay, so he comes, he finds this man, but it's actually Raphael that was an angel in the form of a man. Okay, as we see also throughout the scriptures, when these angels come to a form of a man. Okay, another way to wrap your head around this, my friends, how did the fallen angels have sex with the daughters of men? Okay, how did they have sex with women to create Nephilim giants if they couldn't be in the form of a man? Okay, so here we see this context. But real quick, let's go take a look at the 4 angels, including Michael and Gabriel, that are mentioned in the book of Enoch. Okay, the book of Enoch, I hope that you've come to grips with, that it's not false. Okay, but we see these angels mentioned, Raphael being one of them. In Enoch chapter 9, we see 4 angels mentioned. We'll look at them real quick. Okay, so here we are in the book of Enoch chapter number 9. You see these angels mentioned. Okay, these angels that stand before God. Okay, we got Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel. They looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all the lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. Okay, we also see 3 more mentioned with these 4 in the book of Enoch, chapter number 20. We'll look at that really quick. Okay, chapter 20, and these are the names of the holy angels who watch. Okay, it says Uriel. He's one of the holy angels who is over the world and over Tartarus. Raphael, here we have Raphael, one of the holy angels who is over the spirits of men. Ragiel, one of the holy angels who takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries. Michael, one of the holy angels, to wit, he that is over the best part of mankind and over chaos. Of course, we see Michael in Revelation 12. Okay, we see him in Daniel 12. Of course, he's at war. Okay, he's over war. When we see him in Revelation 12, he's like a general of the Lord's army, so to speak. Okay, and then we got Sarachael, one of the holy angels who is set over the spirits, who sin in the spirit. Okay, Gabriel, of course, we know from Luke chapter number 1, one of the holy angels who is over paradise and the serpents and the cherubim. And then we got Remiel, one of the holy angels who God set over those who rise. Okay, so here we see these angels. Okay, in the book of Enoch gives us quite a bit as to the understanding of angels alongside of the canon. He knew not that he was an angel. Okay, Tobias has no idea that he's dealing with an angel. But he knew not, and he said unto him, Can you go with me unto Rages? And knowest thou those places well? To whom the angel said, I will go with you, and I do know the way well, for I have lodged with our brother Gabael. Okay, then Tobias said unto him, Tarry for me till I tell my father. He's going to go tell his dad. He found someone that will go with him. Okay, so he went and he said to his father, Behold, I have found one that'll go with me. And he said, Call him unto me, that I may know what tribe he is, and whether he be a trusted man to go with you. So he called him, and he came in, and they saluted one another. They greeted one another. And Tobit said unto him, Brother, show me of what tribe and family you are. To whom he said, Dost thou seek for a tribe or family, or for a hired man to go with your son? And Tobit said unto him, I would know, brother, thy kindred and name. And he said, I am Azarias, the son of Ananias the great, and of the brethren. Okay, these are people that Tobit's familiar with, obviously, as to Ananias and the brethren. He says, Thou art welcome, brother. Be not now angry with me, because I have inquired to know thy tribe and the family. For you are a good brother of an honest and good stock. Okay, so these people were honest, Ananias and them. And I know Ananias and Jonathan, sons of the great Samias, as we went up to Jerusalem to worship. So these people he's mentioning here, Tobit's familiar with. He's actually went with them to Jerusalem for the worship, and offered the firstborn in the tents of the fruits. So he would go with these guys. They were together unto Jerusalem at the time of the feasts and such. Okay, they were not seduced with the error of our brethren. Remember, they were eating the bread of the Gentiles, and they had fallen. They became Ninevites, basically, a bunch of Assyrians. My brother, you are of a good stock. But tell me, what wages shall I give thee? Wilt thou take a dram a day, and things necessary as to mine own son? Yeah, moreover, if you return safe, I will add something to the wages. Okay, so he tells him what he'll pay him, basically, for each day. And he also says if they return safe, he'll give him a bonus here, you can see. And it looks like they came to an agreement. So they were well pleased. Then he said to Tobias, Prepare thyself for the journey, and God sends you a good journey. And when his son had prepared all things for the journey, his father said, Go, and with this man and God, which dwells in heaven, prosper your journey, and the angel of God keep you company. And so they went forth both, and the young man's dog went with them. Okay, I love this part right here, my friends, because it says that the young man's dog went with them. Okay, I don't know about all of you. Some of you can probably relate, but when I was a kid, I too had a dog that went with me everywhere. He was my good friend, and he went with me everywhere. So I thought it was interesting that the dog goes with him here. But Anna, his mother, wept. Okay, you could see Anna is not happy with her son going on this journey. And she says to Tobit, "Why hast thou sent away our son? Is he not the staff of our hand, in going in and out before us? Be not greedy to add money to money." She's not concerned about this silver. "But let it be as refuse in the respect of our child, for that which the Lord has given us to live with does suffice us." She says, we're doing good. We don't need this silver. Don't send our son on this journey. She's not comfortable with it. And then said Tobit to her, "Take no care, my sister. He shall return in safety, and thine eyes shall see him. For the good angel will keep him company, and his journey shall be prosperous, and he shall return safe." Then she made an end of weeping. Okay, so keeping in mind, okay, they still don't know that Raphael is an angel. Okay, but Tobit, you can see he's living by faith. Okay, he's saying the Lord's going to take care of him. He'll send an angel concerning him, and the way shall be prosperous. Okay, so he kind of calms her down, you can see here. Okay, so here we are in chapter number 6. "And as they went on their journey," so they left, "they came into the evening unto the river Tigris, and they lodged there. And when the young man went down to wash himself, a fish leaped out of the water and would have devoured him. And the angel said unto him, Take the fish. And the young man laid hold of the fish, and they drew it to the land." So they catch this fish here. "To whom the angel said, Open the fish, and take out the heart and the liver and the gall, and put them up safely. And the young man did as the angel had commanded him. And when they had roasted the fish, they did eat it, and they both went their way till they drew near to Ecbatani." Okay, and then, of course, Tobit wants to know what's up with this fish. Okay, and I'm sure you do too. "Then the young man said unto the angel, Brother Azarias, to what use is the heart and the liver and the gall of this fish? And he said unto him, Touching the heart and the liver, if a devil or an evil spirit trouble any, we must make a smoke thereof with the man, before the man or the woman, and the party shall be no more vexed." Okay, "For as for the gall, it is good to anoint a man that has whiteness in his eyes, and he shall be healed." Okay, so we're going to talk about this real quick, because this, of course, is one of the things that the Protestants lean on, saying this is false, this is witchcraft, what this angel is doing. And, I partially have to agree. If me and you today tried to do what this angel is doing, it would be witchcraft, my friends. For we don't have this authority to do what this angel is doing. Keeping in mind, okay, angels have a different way, okay? They're different, okay? They have different authorities, okay? And they also have different ways of dealing with things. For example, you see when the angels come down in Enoch 6:2 and Genesis 6:2, okay, and they teach the men all the wicked things. When they teach them how to make metal, they teach them how to, work it. They teach them all these things, drugs, all of these wicked things. When they teach them abortions and everything that we see fallen angels have taught, okay, it's because they have the knowledge, my friends. So this angel, okay, remember, he is sent and he has authority from God. Okay, so the way that this angel deals with things, I don't have a problem with it. Okay, because I have an understanding of how angels do things. Okay, and I don't have any problem with this. And we'll talk about this some more as we continue. Okay, "And they were come unto near Rages, and the angel said to the young man, Brother, today we shall lodge with Raguel, who is thy cousin." Okay, when he says cousin here, he's talking about Naphtali. They're of the same tribe. "He also has only one daughter, named Sarah." Okay, we've seen Sarah. "I will speak for her, that she may be given thee for a wife. For to thee does the right of her appertain, seeing thou art only of her kindred." So he's telling him, man, she belongs to you by an right of inheritance, okay, under the law. "And the maid is fair and wise. Now therefore hear me, and I will speak to her father. And when we return from Rages, we will celebrate the marriage. For I know that Raguel cannot marry her to another according to the law of Moses." And he couldn't. But he shall be guilty of death, because the right of inheritance does rather appertain to you rather than to any other. So he couldn't just marry her to any random guy. Okay, she had to be married to one from the tribe of Naphtali. Then the young man answered the angel, I have heard, brother Azarias, because he's heard of this. He's heard of these 7 men. He's completely familiar with this. That this maid has both been given to 7 men, the same ones we see in Matthew 22:24 on down, who all died in the marriage chamber. And now I am the only son of my father. Okay, so he has no other children. And I am afraid. Okay, he's afraid. Okay, Tobit doesn't want to be killed by this evil spirit as the 7 before him. Okay, for a wicked spirit loves her and hurts nobody but those which come unto her. Okay, in the marriage chamber. Once they get to her in the marriage chamber, they are dead. Wherefore I also fear lest I die, and I bring my father and my mother's life because of me to the grave with sorrow, for they have no other son to bury them. Then the angel said unto him, Do you not remember the precepts which thy father gave thee, that you should marry a wife of thine own kindred? Wherefore, hear me, O brother, for she shall be given thee for a wife, and make now no reckoning of the evil spirit, for this same night shall she be given thee in marriage. And when thou shalt come into the marriage chamber, thou shalt take the ashes of perfume, and shalt lay upon them some of the heart and the liver of the fish, and shall make a smoke with it. And the devil shall smell it, and flee away, and never come again any more. But when thou shalt come to her, this is beautiful, rise up, both of you, and pray to God, which is merciful, who will have pity on you, and save you. Fear not, for she is appointed unto you from the beginning. And thou shalt preserve her, and she shall go with thee. Moreover, I suppose that she shall bear thee children. Now when Tobias had heard these things, he loved her, and his heart was effectually joined unto her. Okay, so he's seeing the will of God here. And we'll talk more about this smoke. Okay, so chapter number 7. And when they had come to Ecbatani, they came to the house of Raguel. And Sarah had met them. And after they had saluted one another, she brought them into the house. Then said Raguel to his wife, Edna, okay, we got Edna the wife here, How like is this young man to Tobit my cousin? Okay, and Raguel asked them, From whence are you guys? So where are you guys from? To whom they said, We are the sons of Naphtali, which are the captives in Nineveh. And he said unto them, Do you know Tobit our kinsman? And they said, We know him. And then he said, Is he in good health? And they said, He is both alive and in good health. And Tobias said, He is my father. Then Raguel leaped up and kissed him and wept. And he blessed him, and he said unto him, You are the son of an honest and good man. But when he had heard that Tobit was blind, he was sorrowful, and he wept. So he knows these guys, and he is really happy that he's standing before Tobit's son here. He's rejoicing. And likewise Edna his wife and Sarah his daughter wept. Moreover, they entertained them cheerfully, and after that they had killed a ram of the flock, they set a store of meat on the table, and said to Tobias to Raphael, brother Azarias, Speak of those things which you did talk in the way, and let this business be dispatched. So he communicated the matter with Raguel, and Raguel said to Tobias, Eat and drink, and make merry, for it is meet that you should marry my daughter. Nevertheless, I will declare unto you the truth. I have given my daughter in marriage to 7 men, who died that night that they came in unto her, again in the marriage chamber. Nevertheless, for the present, be merry. So he says, yeah, you can marry my daughter, but I'm going to tell you straight up, the 7 men that tried to marry her before are all dead. But nevertheless, for the time being, be merry. But Tobias said, I will eat nothing here till we agree and swear one to another. And Raguel said, to take her from henceforth according to the manner, or the law of Moses, for thou art her cousin. Okay, and this is not talking about inbreeding. This is talking about the tribe of Naphtali. They're of the same tribe. And she is thine. And the merciful God give you good success in all things. Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father. And he took her by the hand, and he gave her to be wife to Tobias, saying, Behold, take her after the law of Moses, and lead her away to thy father. And he blessed them. And he called Edna his wife, and they took a paper and did write an instrument of covenants and sealed it. Okay, so this is like an agreement here. Basically, it would be basically like a marriage license, okay, of agreements. And they began to eat. Okay, so the deal is done. And after Raguel called his wife Edna and said unto her, Sister, prepare another chamber. Prepare the marriage chamber, and bring her in thither. Which when she had done, as he had bidden her, she brought her thither, and she wept, and she received the tears of a daughter, and she said unto her, Be of a good comfort, my daughter. The Lord of heaven and earth give thee joy for this thy sorrows. Be of good comfort, my daughter. Chapter number 8. And when they had supped, they brought Tobias in unto her. And as he went, he remembered the words of Raphael, and he took the ashes of the perfumes, and put the heart and the liver of the fish thereupon, and he made a smoke therewith. The which smell, when the evil spirit had smelled it, he fled away into the utmost parts of Egypt. And the angel, okay, the same angel that's in the form of Azarias, bound him. Okay, so again, this is one of the things that the Protestants have a huge problem with. They'll throw the book out. If they hadn't thrown it out before, they'll throw it out when they get right here, because they say that this is witchcraft, and they do not understand angels, my friends. Know ye not that ye shall judge angels? Okay, so you got to discern these things. Okay, this angel has authority to do these things, has knowledge that we don't have as to doing things. You see, if you do any research in the world, people still take the parts of fishes and they try to do this, okay, and it's pretty much for the most part ineffective. Okay, they've tried this with the blinding, with the gall. Okay, but I can see your understanding if you think that that's witchcraft. Okay, it's not particular something that man is allowed to do. But we're not dealing with a man here. We are dealing with an angel who has different authorities and different knowledge, okay, and is sent by God, okay. Now, God could have very easily snapped his finger and changed things for Tobit and for Sarah, but he sent his angel, okay. God sends angels. So I don't have any problem with this. Just like I don't have any problem with a lot of the other things in the Bible that you're not going to understand if you're leaning on your own wisdom, leaning on man's understanding, okay? But if you have an issue with this, I encourage you to study these things a little further, study these angels, okay? The knowledge that they had, okay? And then, okay, so he does this. He burns this. You see this spirit is bound by the angel in Egypt, okay? And after that they were both shut in together, Tobit rose up out of his bed and said, Sister, arise and let us pray that God would have pity on us. Remember, of course, Raphael had told him when it comes to pass, okay? After everything's all good, he says to give thanks, to praise God, okay? He told him, who is merciful. Okay, so they do. Then began Tobit to say, or to pray, Blessed art thou, O God of our fathers, and blessed is thy holy and glorious name forever. Let the heavens bless thee, and all of thy creatures. For you made Adam, and gave him Eve, his wife, for a helper and stay. Of them came mankind. And thou hast said, It is not good that man should be alone. Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself. And now, O Lord, I take not this my sister for lust, but uprightly. Therefore, mercifully ordain that we may become aged together. And she said with him, Amen. You guys, I love how this book shows you like the will of God when it comes to some marriages and stuff. And I like how he says, I have not taken her in lust, but uprightly. That's a beautiful thing. I did have someone ask me, okay, back in the day when you had to marry a wife of your own tribe, okay, they asked how that applies today, okay, and how that applies today is, we're not supposed to take a wife of a strange woman, it says, okay, in today's context, my friends, we don't want to be yoked together with unbelievers, okay, that's how that, is working today. You don't want to be yoked together with unbelievers, okay, take a wife of thine own kind, okay, a woman of the Lord. And she said with him, Amen. So they slept both that night, and Raguel arose and went and made a grave. Okay, so Raguel, this is a little funny to me, I'm sorry, but Raguel is stressing out. Okay, that's her dad. And he went and made a grave. He's waiting for this guy to wake up dead, saying, I fear lest he's also dead. But when Raguel was coming into his house, he said unto his wife Edna, Send one of the maids. Remember, these are the maids that were giving her grief in part 1, chapter 3. And let her see whether he be alive. If he be not, that we may bury him, and no man know it. Okay, so he's on his last leg with this stuff. Okay, he's been through this. He's gotten used to this, my friend. So that the maid opened the door and went in, and she found them both asleep. And she came forth and told them that he was alive. Raguel praises God, glory to his name. Then Raguel praised God and said, O God, thou art worthy to be praised with all pure and holy praise. Therefore let all the saints praise thee with all of thy creatures, and let all thine angels and thine elect praise thee forever. Thou art to be praised, for thou hast made me joyful, and that this is not come to me which I have expected. Okay, so he was just waiting for Tobias to die. Just waiting for him to die. But you have dealt with us according to thy great mercy. Thou art to be praised, because thou hast had mercy on two that were the only begotten children of their fathers. Grant them mercy, O Lord, and finish their life in health and with joy and mercy. Then Raguel bade his servants to fill the grave, and he kept the wedding feast 14 days. For before the days of the marriage were finished, Raguel had said unto him by an oath that he should not prepare till the 14 days of the marriage were expired. So remember the marriage license, so to speak. Okay, part of the agreement to him taking her as a wife is that they stay 14 days. Okay, and when they were expired, and then they could go. And that he should take the half of his goods. Okay, so remember in chapter 3, it's talking about how she doesn't have any brothers. She doesn't have, okay, Raguel has no other kindred. Okay, no one to take his inheritance. So now he does. Okay, so they give to Tobias and Sarah half of his stuff to take with them back to home, and to go in the safety of his father, and he should have the rest when him and his wife are dead. Then Tobias called Raphael and said unto him, Brother Azarias, take with thee a servant and 2 camels, and go to Rages of Media to Gabael, and bring me the money, and bring him to the wedding. Okay, so he sends him. He's realizing that they're running out of time here. Okay, he got set back 14 days here due to the marriage feasts. Okay, the marriage, they have to stay 14 days, so he got set back 14 days. So he sends Azarias, who is the angel, to go with the servant and some camels to go to get the silver from Gabael, and to bring Gabael with them and come back to the wedding. Okay, so for Raguel has sworn that I shall not depart, but my father counts the days, and if I tarry too long, he will be very sorry. Okay, so he's telling him we need to get things moving. Okay, we need to kill a couple birds with one stone here, because my dad's going to worry, okay, because we're set behind 14 days. So Raphael, he went out and lodged with Gabael. So he makes it, and he gives him the handwriting. Okay, remember Tobit sent him a sealed handwriting to receive the silver. And then he brought forth bags which were sealed up, and he gave them unto him. And early in the morning they went forth both together, and they came to the wedding. And Tobit blessed his wife. All right, we'll proceed through one more chapter. I believe we can fit it in there. Okay, and then, like I say, part 3 will be the best, my friends, where we'll conclude, and then we'll talk about this book some. Now, Tobit, his father, counted every day. Okay, so Tobit's back in Nineveh, praying, counting every day. And when the days of the journey were expired, and they came not, then Tobit said, Are they detained? Or is Gabael dead? And is there no man to give him the money? Okay, so he's worried. Therefore he was very sorry. And then his wife said unto him, My son is dead, seeing he stays long. And she began to bewail him, and said, Now I care for nothing, my son, since I have let thee go, the light of mine eyes. To whom Tobit said, Hold thy peace, and take no care, for he's fine, he is safe. And she said, You hold your peace, and deceive me not. My son is dead. And she went out every day into the way in which they went, and she did not eat. She did not eat in the daytime, and ceased not whole nights to bewail her son Tobias, until the 14 days of the wedding were expired, which Raguel had sworn that he should spend there. Okay, so she's upset, guys. She thinks that he's dead. Okay, they're way past the time in which they were supposed to return. It seems as if things have went bad. Seems as if they're not coming back. She doesn't know what to think, but she's upset. She thinks her son's dead. She's mad at Tobit for even sending him, as she was in the beginning. So, things are a little bit twisted here. Okay. So, she went out every day, okay, until the 14 days of the wedding were expired, which Raguel had sworn that he should spend there. And then Tobias said to Raguel, Let me go, for my father and my mother look no more to see me. But his father-in-law said unto him, okay, this kind of reminds me of, the father of Rachel and Leah. But his father-in-law said unto him, Tarry with me, and I will send to thy father, and they shall declare unto that you're doing fine. So he says, No, I'll just stay here, man, and I'll have someone sent to your father to tell him that you're fine. But Tobias said, No, but let me go to my father. Then Raguel arose, and he gave him Sarah his wife, and half of his goods, and the servants, and cattle, and money. Okay, so he receives all kinds of things, including, the 10 talents of silver, which was entrusted to Gabael. And he blessed them, and he sent them away, saying, The God of heaven give you a prosperous journey, my children. And he said unto his daughter, Honor thy father and thy mother-in-law, which are now thy parents, that I may hear of a good report of thee. Okay, so he tells his daughter, to embrace her new family. And he kissed her. Edno also said to Tobias, The Lord of heaven restore thee, my dear brother, and grant that I may see the children of my daughter Sarah before I die, that I may rejoice before the Lord. Behold, I commit my daughter unto thee of a special trust. Wherefore, do not entreat her evil.
And so there you have it, my friends. The book of Tobit, part number 2. I wanted to try to get it all done in part number 2, but to keep this relatively short, which I would like to do for y'all, because I know how it is. Not everybody's just got 40 minutes laying around to watch videos, especially when they're an hour and a half, 2 hours long. Okay, there's lots we could talk about, but this video would go, hours. But coming to grips with this is just a matter as if you can wrap your head around what this angel does. Okay, I myself don't have a problem with it. I've seen, where you could take 20 witnesses with this book to the Protestants, and you could tell them, look, man, this book is not false. They take one little thing, one little man's wisdom, one little man's understanding, leaning on it, and they'll say, nope, this book is false, this is witchcraft, okay? But these guys simply don't understand angels, my friends, nor how some of these angels have authorities and the knowledges that they have, okay? The fact that they could come in the form of a man, okay? All of these little things. I encourage you to keep an open mind about. Maybe study some of these things. The book of Enoch will be a blessing to you as to understanding some of these angels. We get a little bit more out of the book of Jasher, which is a book I want to go through in the near future if God is willing. But I don't have any problem with what this angel does. I ain't got any problem with it. You know, if me and you were to take some fish guts or whatever, okay, some heart of a fish and liver and burn it with some perfume and in order to try to get a devil out of a human, okay, it's not going to work for us, my friends. And yes, it's going to turn into witchcraft. We don't have that authority, okay? And we know now that we ask of God in the name of Christ Jesus, my friends, and if it be his will, it will be given unto you, okay? If you believe it. Do you believe it? Okay, but I don't have any problem with this book, okay? We got 20 witnesses against any witnesses to say that this book is false. I don't believe that it's false. It's recovered in the Dead Sea Scrolls. I find it to be a great blessing as to understanding the context of a lot of things, including marriage, including living in captivity in foreign nations. And like myself and many of you who come from the United States, doesn't matter where you come from, my friends. We're born and raised in Babylon, okay? And this book gives us a great context for those who are living in captivity and, staying true to God, my friends. Returning unto God, okay? Keeping his word, keeping his ways, keeping the commandments, learning to love him. So anyway, I wanted to share with you Tobit, the book of Tobit, part number 2, okay, chapters number 5 through 10. We will come back for part number 3, in which we will conclude the book. We'll go through chapters 11 through 14, and we'll be finished. So anyway, guys, I hope that y'all are doing well today on this 29th day of the 5th month, and I hope you guys have a blessed Sabbath as we go into the Sabbath as the sun goes down this evening. I love you guys. Hope that this can be a blessing to somebody out there. And we'll talk to you again soon. In the name of Jesus Christ. Later.